Hello.
Hi Amy, how are you?
Oh, about probably like you are, frustrated a little bit, but not too bad.
Why?
Why? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because we keep having to redo work that was done before, maybe?
Oh, sorry. Okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Understand.
But it could be worse. It definitely could be worse. So you're gonna have to tell me if you want to address your topics in any specific order. I was getting set up to talk about number one,
Yeah, the order for
missing
me
information with
is not
contacts.
a big deal. So if
Okay.
you want to go with the order, it's okay.
Okay. That one's more within our direct control also to fix. At least, let me put it this way. What has happened to those contacts was caused by a back end problem with the technical programming of how they're trying to synchronize contacts between CRM and the SAP backend.
Okay.
But this is not the first time this happened. This happened before. And the last time it happened, I told Olivier that if it happened again, I was going to raise a big stink. And it did happen again. So he has promised me that now the underlying cause is fixed,
Okay.
and this should be the last time we have to correct issues caused by the system. So whether you believe that, I don't know. I don't know if I believe it anymore, but
Hmm.
we are we are fixing the contacts that were messed up by hand here in the US and hoping that it's true, and from here on out, we won't have any more issues. So I will show you what we're doing, and then you'll have to decide, what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm taking a list of USA contacts. So let me just make it a list of all the USA contacts, and I am querying that list for those that are marked status in preparation. Those seem to be the ones that status seems to be being set for those contacts at the same time as their contact information is getting deleted.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if that's true in Mexico, but that seems to be the case here. So
Uh,
then, go ahead.
I never seen the status for the missing information in contact, but let me check.
Okay?
If I have a filter for all Mexican contacts, and it's in status, right?
It's in the status column, yes.
Prepare. Uh, per- per- nope, I haven't. I have no one
Okay.
with prepare status. All my contacts in Mexico are like active.
Okay.
Hmm.
Then let's look at a contact that you believe the contact data has been deleted.
Okay.
Can you give me a specific contact to look at then?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Then this contact is 898730.
898730.
898730. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Leonardo Juarez. Okay.
That
All
one.
right. So let's look at his record. Okay. So this person created the contact at first,
Mm-hmm.
Jose Arturo, and then at some point, the most recent change that happened to this record was by the technical user.
Yep.
And those two things happened on the same day. Okay? And I'm going now to the changes facet, and here we can see that at 1:33, so your employee created this at 1:12 in the afternoon. About 20 minutes later, the technical user came in and it changed these values to blank.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it should not have done that, but that's what it did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm talking about, where their program has caused this issue. Now, the good news is that it's not that hard to put the data back. The bad news is that you have to either spend a fair amount of time defining it in Excel or just do it manually. We have chosen here to just do it manually. Because by the time we arranged all of the data into an Excel spreadsheet for Hitesh to upload, we could have done it directly in the system. At least that's our opinion. So I'll show you what I mean. So I still want to deal with, I want to have this same contact open twice so that I can easily jump back and forth. Because what I'm going to need to do is copy and paste. Oh dear. Let me go to contacts, customer contacts. Oh. There he is. Because we're just going to basically copy it from the change record that tells us what the values were back into the live relationship. So let me try to get these side by side. That would help a lot. Okay. So on the right, I have the relationships facet open, and it does have a relationship. Leonardo does have a relationship with Volkswagen, but in the context of that relationship, the phone number, the email, etc., they've been deleted.
Mm-hmm.
The values, however, can still be seen here in the change log.
Yeah.
By looking at the value before deletion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the right-hand side, I go into edit mode, and then I look at the values, right? So job title, I'll copy that to there. Phone number, and I'm not sure here, both of these are called phones, so I assume it was, one was regular and one was mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then down here is the email. And honestly, this department from business card field, that one, I don't know what that is. I think it's something the central team added. But this value here, would this be a job title? What is this an engineer?
Engineer, yeah. I believe that the user populate the wrong information in department from business card, but because in our guidelines we have specifications of that title, especialista proyectos nuevos, is in job title, not
Okay.
in department from business card.
So would it go along with engineer, something like that?
Yeah, it's not necessary the engineer part.
Okay. Okay. So we might as well make the correction while we're at this, okay?
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. So when I save this now, okay, all this information is related to this person in the context of their relationship to this account.
Mm-hmm.
If this person quits their job at Volkswagen
Mm-hmm.
and you come in and you delete this relationship, the normal operation of the system would be to move the values like their email address, their phone number into this relationship history area. That's how
Okay.
the system would normally work. But because what you're having to fix is not a change of relationship, but rather an error, a set of changes that the system did in error, you're copying them from the change log into the current relationship, which when we went into relationships under Leonardo, his relationship with Volkswagen was there. It's just all these pieces of information had been deleted.
Okay.
Now, how do you feel like you have a complete and accurate list of the contacts where this has happened?
Mm, 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 mm. I don't know.
How did you get the list that you have right now? You have a list of more than one contact that
Yeah,
this had it to,
just
right?
just making a source from the line in email in phone.
Okay.
I sort the phone number, and I found several contacts without information.
Okay. Let's see what we see if I do that now. So let's go. So now I've narrowed my list to contacts where country equals Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And if I sort ascending, I have
Yeah, that's
some
right.
where the phone is blank, but the email is still there.
Yes.
Interesting. So let's take this one. I'm just trying to be random here. Let's take this one person, Karina, and let's look in relationships. So there is a relationship, and in that relationship there is an email. So this was created, okay, that explains it. So
But
when
it was changed by the technical user.
it was, but if we go to changes, um, there's the phone number, there's the job title, there's the language. So yes, the technical user changed this and took that data out, but I think you might also find that if when we add a contact by hand, you have to put in a phone number, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
But when contacts were loaded for us from a spreadsheet back when we had My Hero, I think they were able to load those, even those that didn't have a phone number. So what I'm saying is, if you go through this list, not every one of them may be exactly the same where the values have been deleted by technical user. They may be, they may not be. Now, here's one that illustrates just how bad this is. Um, Remember I told you I went to Olivier once before and I
Mm-hmm.
showed him this problem and I told him to fix it. And then he said it was fixed. Well, obviously it was not because um, the technical user kept putting data back in and taking it back out, putting it back in and taking it back out. So the problem lies in the back end with their program. If you could do me one favor,
Yeah.
if you come across a record more since the 1st of June, June 1st or more recently that you find this last change by the technical user, if you find one that happened in June,
Okay.
shoot me an email,
Okay.
because if we don't find any as recently as June, as this gets worked through, maybe he's right. Maybe it's finally fixed.
Okay.
Now, in the U.S., our list of contacts that had issues where stuff had been deleted was only about 30 contacts that I knew of. I'm hoping that there aren't more. I guess I should probably check based on what you're telling me, because I was able to find them before based on the status in preparation. And now I'm wondering if there's more out there that have an issue than what I know of. So let's go. Let's go look at a person. Okay, so yeah, I may be rethinking this situation of fixing this by hand, because of the number of records we have where this is the problem. So that's hundreds, and we're not fixing hundreds. Not you, not us, not anybody. We're not fixing that many by hand.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do, let me try Canada, see if they have a similar issue. Hi, Jan.
Hello, Amy. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm just doing good, thank you. What about you, Abraham?
Bien, bien, gracias.
Yep. This is all of us. Okay. So what I will need to do is set up a call. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm traveling this week, so it's not going to be easy.
In US, or you're gonna
Yeah,
go abroad?
just in the U.S.
Okay.
Thankfully. Give me just a minute if you could. Let me see. But I want to do it very, very soon, because let's see. When do I leave? What time?
Give me a second, I will go for some water.
Okay, no problem. 9:35. Crap. Okay. 11:22. Get over to the plant. I gotta have time to eat some lunch. Okay. Let me try to do this. Let me try to set up a call with you and me and Hitesh tomorrow at 4 o'clock your time, Abraham.
Let me check.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow it's okay for me.
Okay, let's see if Hitesh shows it as being available. Yep. Okay. Contacts with contact info, telephone, email, title, etc. Deleted by technical user. Okay. And what I'm going to do is ask Hitesh to figure out how to fix this for us in the earliest possible fashion.
What are we doing? Can you explain me a little bit?
Yeah, the unfortunate truth is that some work they've done to synchronize contacts from Robin into SAP has resulted in contact information that was loaded either by salespeople or way back at the beginning by upload. The technical system, for some reason, takes these values and it deletes them.
All right.
So this person's phone number, this person's job title, this person's language no longer is in the system and available for people to look it up. I can find it in the change log, but it's not where it's supposed to be. And that's true of contacts from the USA, Canada, and Mexico. So we need to get it fixed because the salespeople, a lot of times they're the ones that made the effort to load the information, and so they shouldn't have to load it again, nor should we have to load it again for them. So that's what we're trying to do. Just let me finish the one little bit here, otherwise I will forget to set this meeting and we'll go on with other topics.
Sure.
And deleted from Robin by the tech. Okay. All right. So, I guess, Abraham, the topic regarding IDM, I don't know if you want to take Jan's time to talk about that, but I can tell you that I have no more information than what Andy can tell you. That there's issues regarding IDM and identity management and that they're trying to solve them. I don't know anything more than that. I did, let's see. I did send an email because, not surprisingly, Canada is just as frustrated as you are, as I am with this situation. So I sent Tanya. Where the heck did it go? Oh, I know. It was from Robin. Sorry. Looking in the wrong place. I sent Tanya an email today that basically said the same thing. That I don't know I don't understand exactly why the IDM roles get deleted and or messed up. But in Canada, they've been trying to do what they were told to do, which is put in a CI ticket, and that's doing no good at all.
Yep.
Now, have you been able to get any of your user roles reinstated with help of Andy or Eric?
We did it with Eric, but
Okay.
when Eric create the new role, he saw everything. It was good in the system, but the user couldn't open the CRM.
Okay. So the only thing I can tell you is the same thing I told Tanya, which is maybe try to have Eric and Andy coordinate together to try and figure out what the problem is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Now we are done with that stuff. Now we can talk about ticketing. Yay!
Just the last quick question.
Okay.
Just to be in the same way as you, for contacts that is not longer is not working in the same company, just we have to erase the relationship, right? No, we are not using the obsolete status in contacts.
So obsolete status in contacts does get used, but only if the person is truly gone, as in passed away or retired.
Okay.
So if a person, and I'll go into the queue system and show you, if a person leaves the company they're working for, but they're a younger person, we all know that quite often they show up again working for some other company, some other distributor, some other manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you go in to the contact that is making the change of employment, and I gotta wait for it to show up here, and then you simply delete their relationship
Okay.
with their current employer. As soon as you do that, they won't have any contact information because all their contact information was in the context of that employer,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will see it all. It will all be moved into relationship history. So it'll say this person was a contact person for Hydrotech until the 10th of June at 5:29 when Amy Defayette got rid of that relationship. Okay? Then, if you find that someone meets this person, they've gone to work for a competitor or what have you, you simply come in and you add that relationship as contact person for the employee's new employer, whoever that company is. I'm just going to grab one. And of course, when you add that relationship, you would then
populate again the information. Okay.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly. So, for instance, we've had that happen already with John Wadnick. See if I can find him quickly. Yep. So John Wadnick was an employee of one of our distributors.
Mm-hmm.
He left that company, and so we did not obsolete him. We just deleted his relationship.
Okay.
And then just a little while ago, I can't even remember how or why, I stumbled across him, so we added his relationship with his new company back in. We don't know what his title or phone number or anything is, but we at least recorded that he's a, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good, nice.
Okay.
Excellent.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We can go ahead.
All right. So, Jan, the topic of ticketing in the U.S. at least is starting to warm up quite a bit. The rollout is still far from complete in the U.S. Matter of fact, it's only just started. Tricia Perrone and Stephanie Turney have been meeting with groups, most recently with Paul Zielbauer, who runs the service group for assembly technology conveyors. And in those meetings, they're trying to address all the details of how ticketing would be used for those types of customer issues that are actually technical complaints. So they would be the type that need to also end up in SAP as a CS notification. Now, that's the terminology I hear them use, CS notification in SAP. Is that a term you're familiar with?
Yes, in service we normally use it. When we create the service order, then we create the CS notification in order to, let's say, to put a little bit more information into the system.
Okay. So are you aware that the functionality is now just released, and I think it's mostly working, to create that CS notification from the Robin ticket so you don't have to enter it separately? Were you aware of that?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like 3, 4 weeks ago, when Abraham and I were talking with Stephanie Turney and with Tricia. Just
Okay.
like you said, they organized this kind of meeting in order to know how are we handling with the ticketing, or let's say more to inform us about how this topic is going in the U.S. And they tell us that they will be working on some manuals, and as I remember, they told us that they will have it ready on at the end of May. But I just get back to the office last week. I was almost 2 weeks out of the office, um, and I'm not sure if they already sent the manuals and some other stuff that they were to send us. Abraham, do you know if they already sent us something about it?
I do not know, but based on what I do know, I think they should be close. So perhaps you would want to reach out to them and find out. I'm looking to see if I can find where we are right now. How many? Yeah. Okay. So you can see that there are some tickets being manually entered in the USA by some of our service-related and sales-related personnel. For instance, Howard Leary is an employee of the AE Group in Hoffman Estates, and he's entering tickets and using those tickets to track the interactions with the customer, and then closing them to basically say, hey, we've given the customer the solution.
Okay.
So that part is ready to go. The part that brings a ticket up from SAP. So let's say the ticket is entered first in SAP, and then we want it to be visible in Robin. That part is up and running now, at least in some cases.
Amy, you're working on the productive system. Is that all right?
Yes, I am. I'm not putting any data in. I'm just looking at data.
All right.
Yeah. So yes, I am in the productive system. But just because you can see those up here doesn't mean that the integration between the back end and the front end is complete.
All right.
It may be that I believe Stephanie told me that there is more data that needs to flow back and forth between SAP and CRM before we can consider this done. Okay?
Yes. Yep.
But given what is up and running, what Rob McCardle would like to know is what roughly is your plan for rolling out ticketing? And when I say roughly, it would look something, what he would like would be something similar to what Stephanie and Tricia are doing, which I will bring up and show to you. Sorry, it's taken a minute to open.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So, where did she put it? But she had a very high level plan on what they were going to do. Maybe it's here. Strategy timeline. There we go. There we go. Okay. So basically, he wants to know roughly when you're going to roll out ticketing to different groups. Now, in the U.S., the groups are being defined by business unit. it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose. Maybe you would want to do it rather by location. But in the U.S., they've chosen, Tricia and Stephanie have chosen to approach different business unit technical service teams, and that's where they're starting. So that's why this says service management release in DCNA. That doesn't mean all ticketing. For instance, if it were a logistics complaint, they're not doing those yet, just the types that are technical complaints. So,
Okay.
Okay. Do you think that some sort of rough plan, you see this isn't any more detailed than by month, could be, you could design something or come up with something that would communicate to us what your plan is sometime this week? It doesn't have to be perfect, and it can change later, but would you be able to give us an idea?
Sure. Maybe even if you want, you can send us the same Excel file, and we can, let's say, fill it out with our information. But let's say that mainly our idea is the next. First of all, we need to finish our guidelines in order to say to whom and in which cases are we going to use tickets, because as far you know, not everyone can be able to make some tickets, and obviously it's not for all the topics, right?
Sure.
So first of all, we need to finish that guidelines. Then we are thinking on doing, let's say, this kind of rollout for everyone that will be involved on this first stage. That we are thinking all the service supervisors, the service manager, the quality guys, and quality service, and that's it, right, Aram?
Customer service.
Uh, Customer service.
Yep.
Let's say that they will be the first one. So we will send them an invitation just in order to explain them the guidelines, to explain them maybe one or two exercises about ticketing. We will ask them to make some tests, maybe give them some weeks, 2-3 weeks, in order they can practice a little bit, and then we will ask them to start to do it into the project system. Let's say that that's this is the way that we are thinking to do it.
Okay. Okay. So that's why Rob wanted me to check with you guys today. Is he just wanted a general update, and then what roughly would be your rollout plan. So what I'll do right here is, can you speak with Tricia and Stephanie this week regarding
I think
status
that we
of
have
guidelines?
I think that we have a follow-up meeting, but I'm not sure. Do you remember, Abraham, when we have the next meeting with them?
The next one?
The next meeting with them is for, let me see, no, I think it is not for this week.
I think it's in.
No, there's no. No, we have it until July the 9th. It's a lot of time. So we will
Okay.
try to reach them this week in order we can talk a little bit with them and explain them this rollout plan. And let's say that we will try to fill the same information into the Excel file, but we will try to reach them this week.
Okay. So given that, probably Rob would be perfectly happy with just, like 4 or 5 bullets in a email to start out with. Like, given what we spoke about with Tricia and Stephanie, we think we'll start in August and proceed. Even something that general for right now will be fine.
Okay.
But I will still give you this in case you'd rather do it that way, or it's helpful or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
All right, great. So that was the main reason to bother you today, and I don't know enough to tell you what the remaining barriers are with, going live with other groups. For instance, when what barriers still remain for us to say put in a ticket that is a logistic complaint. I don't know the answer to that. So if you do have if you would prefer, rather than going live with technical groups first, then later with customer service, if you would rather do it a different way, then you'll need to find out from Tricia and Stephanie what sort of constraints there are on doing it that way. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good. Okay. We've got 15 minutes left. If either of you have other topics, or Abraham, if you want to go back to your topics, and Jan can be excused, you guys tell me what you want to do with the 15 minutes of time we have left.
From my side, Jan, have you got something?
No, not really.
Okay. From my side, regarding with analysis and reports, can we know in a spreadsheet which user create a contact, or is not possible to see
No,
that?
there are no contact reports right now at all, but do you have Data Workbench? You should.
Okay. I never
You have
used
that?
it.
Okay, I'll show you how to use it then, because it's handy. It's not user friendly, but it's handy. Okay, so if you go to Data Workbench and then click Export, now you have to be a little careful because you can export tens and thousands, hundreds of thousands of records with this thing. Okay, now so there's this area here where it shows the tables that you can export, and some of them are very detailed stuff you would never ever need. Sales order, sales partner, party depreciated. I don't even know what that is. But if you just start typing the general kind of information you want, so you want some information regarding contacts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will narrow the list down to those things that have the term contact included. And anything that has a blue arrow next to it, that means that that's a node that has related tables. So there's a table for contacts, and then there's a related table, for instance, for contact notes. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
If I click contact and highlight just one line here, you'll see below that I can filter the rows of data I'm going to get by a field included in this. So if I pop this field selector open, it'll tell me the fields that'll be in the export, and I can use one or more of them to filter. So if I say, show me, export for me only contacts with country equal to Mexico.
Okay.
Okay, so you got that much in?
Yep.
Okay, then far lower right, you see the next button.
Good.
Okay, when you click that, it may take 30 seconds or a minute to come to this next screen, because it's actually checking to see how many records fit your conditions. Okay, and in this case, there's 1,119 records, so it's reasonable. If you're under 10,000, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay. Down in the lower right, let's say that it came up with, I'm going to go, you stay right where you are, I'm going to go back for a minute, and I'm going to add another condition, one that I know will cause a failure. So let's say academic title equal to something, some weird value. Okay, so now I'm giving it 2 conditions to filter the data by. When I click next, it's telling me that there's going to be 0 records, so I know that I'm going to get no data.
Okay.
Okay, so just as a tip, because some of these fields, you think you've chosen the right field, and in reality, you have not. Okay, now this name and number up here.
Pues nada, avísame.
Ian.
Yep.
Just pon en mute. Yeah.
Okay, this name and number up here, you can just leave it. You don't have to. It's just a discrete number at the time and date stamp. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you click export, go ahead and click export data at the lower right. You should get a pop-up window like what I'm showing.
Okay. Export triggers successfully. Go to
Okay.
monitor. Go to monitor. Okay.
Yep. Now, depending on how big your export is, when you go back to the menu under Data Workbench and you click Monitor, it may be done when you get there, or it may not be done. You can see I've done some exports that have, 61,000 records, so it might not say finished when you first get here. Did you set yours off?
Sorry?
Oh, it's because, never mind.
Did I
Hang on.
Okay.
I didn't see yours, but that's because I had it filtered down to just my tasks. So, did you set yours off?
Okay. So, this contact is okay. Is there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 line contact.
What is 7? I'm sorry. Why don't you show me your screen?
Oh, sorry. I just watching your screen to know what.
Oh, okay.
See,
All
yeah.
right. I'm sorry. I'll put it back on then. What I was going to say is, actually, you know what? Let's make sure you can do it. Let's make sure your user can execute the export. So why don't you show me your screen, and let's have you try it to be absolutely certain.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Okay. Not yet.
It's for Monterey, more or less.
Is he back off mute, or is he talking to us?
No?
Nope, still don't see it.
No.
Sorry, my fault. Yep. Yep. Disconnecting. Good.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay.
So
yep, Data Workbench, export. Yep.
Export.
I want to make sure it runs for you and make sure you get the same number of results I did.
Okay.
Shouldn't take long to do. Okay, so type contact or CONT would just be enough.
Yep.
Yep. Highlight that line. Yep. Select the field country.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now on the far lower right, where it has the next command, click that.
Yep, the same number.
Good. Now go ahead. Yep, but go ahead and hit the export. It won't hurt anything to export the same data again. Okay, very good. Okay. So now go to the monitor.
My task. Okay.
There it is. Okay, now see it says status data processed, but it's not finished. It needs to be status finished before you'll be able to download it.
Okay.
So click the refresh at the far lower right, the refresh circle button. There it is. See, now it's finished, and it's no longer ghosted. It's blue. You can tell you can click it. So go ahead and click it. And it'll download the CSV file. Go and open it. Now it's going to, the bad news is it's going to have a whole bunch of fields that you don't want.
Okay.
But it will also have the fields, some of the fields that you do want. Now the problem is the data that you really, really want, whether their phone number, etc., is in there, is not in this file because that's part of their relationship, right?
Okay.
So you can see, well, no, I take that back. They are showing it. So they must be giving you the main one. So yeah, it's there. Good.
It's created by, right? This is the one that I was asking.
Yep. And then you can look for changed by. So if we have blanks for the contact data here, that's pretty much the list we need fixed if it also says changed by technical user. Mm-hmm. What are the values that it's got there? Oh, you know what the problem is? That's what I ran into. The change is not to the main record. The change is to the related record. So it doesn't show the value here because the change is not to this table, even though they show the fields. So, and I have not been able to figure out how to identify using Data Workbench the contacts that technical user changed. We'll have to ask Hitesh to help with that.
Okay.
But do you have rows in this export where the phone number is blank?
That is I was looking for.
Yeah, it was back to the left some. I saw email and such go by. There you go. There's phone. Yeah, so there's a bunch of. Yep, there was a bunch of blank values for phone. It's entirely possible that any one of those rows where the phone is blank, they were changed by the technical user, but we cannot tell that based on the file contents here. We'd have to go look at a couple sample records.
Okay. Yeah, I have 118 without phone number.
That seems about right when we looked at it in pages in the application. 118 sounds like it'd be about the same number that I was paging through when I sorted by blanks.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, and sometimes Data Workbench is handy, like to check account data as well. It's limited, but it can be helpful.
Yeah, it is helpful for some KPIs.
Yep, exactly. Just when you got to check something that isn't in a standard report. So.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
No, I think I can have my other question for the next meeting. It's not very important, but we can follow in our next meeting. No problem.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yep.
The message I gave you last time, Abraham, is coming true, by the way. We received, or Paul Cook received from KP Clement, who is the guy that works for Vuker, that's, the sales guy, yep. A report that shows the snapshots from those dashboards I showed you in CRM, the pipeline dashboard and the number of visits dashboard, etc. And he's putting the pressure on Paul to put the pressure on the organizations to get the data up to date. So it's no different than what I told you before. It's just now, I have a feeling Paul's going to turn around and be talking with Thomas or Salvador or both,
Okay.
not too far in the distant future. So, okay.
Okay. Good to know. I will put in Salvador in a warning way
Yep.
in order to receive
Yep.
this
Yep.
phone call or this information.
Yep. We're all going to be getting it, I'm sure. So,
Thank you.
all right. Good. Guys, have a great week. I'm on a plane tomorrow going to Bethlehem, and then when I get back, I've got 3 days in the office, and then I will be gone for a 2.5-week vacation. So I may not talk to you till July sometime.
I hope.
Nice. Enjoy your
Yeah.
vacation. Bring us some chocolates.
Oh, finally, we're going. It's our 20th wedding anniversary, so we're going to Hawaii.
Oh,
Wow, nice.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So,
It's very
Oh,
hot
but
there, right?
what's that?
It's very hot there. The weather.
Actually, it's warm, but their climate is such that it never gets super hot and it doesn't get cold. It's very, very nice. So,
yeah,
Enjoy it.
yep.
good. Enjoy your vacation, Amy.
Thank
At
you.
least send us some pictures of the beach.
Hey, well, I don't know if that would be kind of mean, but I'll be sure to send a couple.
All right.
All right, take care, guys.
Amy,
Take
just
care, Amy.
for the training, marketing training is the same date, right? At the end of July, first week of August, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
And our marketing cloud environment is live, but they've had a couple technical glitches. But so far, I think we can still assume end of July. I'm hoping that they'll get past the technical glitches and we'll be ready for that training.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, okay.
And then it will be hot here. It'll be bloody hot, but oh well.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
guys. Take care.
Take care.
Take
Too.
care, Amy.
All right. Bye.
Bye.